But wonderful to see so many familiar and new faces. My name is Grayson Shore. I'm the Executive Director of the Pacific Northwest Battery Collaborative. I'll get into what the PNW Battery Collaborative is in a moment. But just want to say again, thank you so much for coming out tonight. And just for a show of hands, who here, is this your first time to the clean energy test beds? Just by show of hands. Oh wow, so a good number of folks, more than half the people. So this is incredible. And then also just show of hands, first time to a PNW Battery Collaborative event as well. Oh, amazing, so good number of folks too. Well, very, very, very happy to have you here. We have an excellent lineup of some wonderful speakers. And so let's get this show on the road here. So, going to go by way of agenda, run through this really quick. So some opening remarks here. We're going to have lightning talks. Each speaker is going to go for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to go into a moderated Q&A. So we'll be sitting, we'll pull these chairs over. We'll sit down. I have a couple of questions prepared for our excellent speakers. And then we'll have some audience Q&A, followed by some mentions of upcoming events. If there's folks in the audience that want to share any announcements with the community, like for example, you have an upcoming event, you're hiring for a role, you're looking for somebody for a role, funding opportunities, whatever it might be, that would be your opportunity to share that with the community here as well. And then we are going to end at 7:30, but we'll have a tour of the test beds downstairs. Devin will be leading that. So at 7:15, we're going to start that tour. If you want to join the tour, we'll have folks, where would be the best place for folks to rally? Would you say over by the doors there?
You can just do here, yeah.
Just right here?
Yeah.
Excellent. So we'll meet by the doors, and Devin will raise his hand and bring people down at 7:15. As I mentioned, Grayson Shore, what is the PNW Battery Collaborative? Well, the PNW Battery Collaborative was founded last year, and it is a group of battery entrepreneurs, scientists, policymakers, enthusiasts, academics who are unified by a shared mission to make the Pacific Northwest the nation's leading hub for battery innovation, right? Like, I'm stoked about that mission. Are you guys stoked about that mission? We have the power here. Yes, thank you. A little bit more about me by background. Moved to Seattle just about 2 years ago. Was living in Washington, D.C. beforehand. Was serving as a diplomat at the U.S. Department of State on Secretary John Kerry's team. Was in federal government for many years, fighting the good fight on promoting circularity, critical minerals circularity, and emerging tech. Moved over to Amazon and started their battery program for worldwide operations, as well as their circular economy program. And that's what ultimately brought me out here to Seattle. A little bit more about the PNW Battery Collaborative. We are the PNW's largest network of battery professionals. We're over 1,100 members strong, which it's been doubling actually almost every couple of months. We were 600 strong just about 2 months ago, and now we're just at 1,198 members strong. So we are rapidly growing. Here, you'll see up on the screen are some of the events that we organize. We have seminars, site visits, happy hours, lightning talks like we're having here today, and workshops too. So if you're interested in participating in any of our events, I'll have a QR code. And also if you RSVP'd for today's event, which you did, through Luma, you can find more information if you click on our Luma calendar there as well. So there's a LinkedIn page in the events calendar. I'll have these up again towards the end of the presentation. But with that, I want to say a huge thank you to today's co-hosts and community partners. So the Clean Energy Institute, where we're at today, Clean Energy Institute runs the Clean Energy Test Bed. So we'll hear from Devin in a moment about what they're doing here. This place, just FYI, I know a lot of people, it's your first time here. This is like an amazing, amazing spot for not just the state, but really the world on advancing battery technology research. And we even have a battery fabrication lab right below our feet here. It's incredible. So we'll learn a little bit about that. And then also want to thank our co-hosts for today, Regenerative Industrial and Jewel. Okay, so just raise hands, Jake and James, thank you so much. Get a round of applause thank you so much for providing the drinks, helping to organize the space, and bring everybody together here today. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Devin. Thank you, Devin.
Hi, I'm Devin McKenzie. I'm the technical director here, one of the founders of the test beds, and also a faculty, just like Norelco, I'm also a user. I'm a faculty member in material science engineering and mechanical engineering here at UW. And my research group is a very active user of the lab here, so no coincidence. So glad to have you all here. We started our mission here about 8 years ago to accelerate the adoption of a clean energy future, specifically with the idea of being able to cross the gap between kind of early stage innovation and actual economic result, which is something that sometimes academics and faculty don't understand because money's a dirty business, right? Making money. But of course, if we want to have environmental impact, someone has to buy those products and start using them before it makes an impact. And there's a huge amount of engineering, invention, and maybe the most novel parts and most intellectually difficult challenges are getting to that space. And that's near and dear to my heart because before I came here, I have a lot of white hair. I don't even have gray hair anymore. I've actually been here 10 years, pretty much. As soon as I got here, we started working on this idea. But I spent, before that, about 17 years in industry, started 5 startup companies, led as CEO, CTO, plumber, street sweeper. So in Silicon Valley, in the Bay Area, and also in Europe and Asia. So this is near and dear to my heart, and I came here with the opportunity to kind of apply that kind of knowledge base to getting clean energy to impact. But here we're at University of Washington. Many of you know we're quite unique here, especially compared to California. We're a little bit smaller in total technology dollars compared to California. But if you compare the number of universities, the ratio of dollars to universities is incredible. We're much, much stronger. There's only one University of Washington. And of course there is Tacoma and Bothell, but and the scale of that, those are really, we're all neighbors, right? We're all really one University of Washington, and all of the primary research in the region flows through UW. And that's led, we have about $1.8 billion in federal funding for research here at University of Washington. It's I think, if not the biggest, then one of the very biggest in the entire country, and federally, a bit bigger than most of the university is, all the University of California's. So very, very prominent, and more recently, and since with the effort of Daniel Sorch, he's the Clean Energy Institute founder, who from which this lab kind of sprung out of, has been partly responsible for bringing the preeminence of University of Washington in energy-related research up quite dramatically over the last several years. And we have many faculty, sort of 48 member faculty on campus that contribute at different levels to energy research in the Clean Energy Institute. And it crosses all the engineering schools, engineering departments, and also other departments in other colleges like chemistry, physics, and the College of Arts and Sciences. Here, what do we do here? We built the lab. So we're an open access laboratory. It's one of the only ones in the country like this. And we are on the advisory boards for the test beds in California, but we can do things here they can't do. We have a unique relationship in that we're not for profit, but if you come as an industrial user to use a lab, and we're 24/7 open access, you get trained, you get your card key, you have to pay on an hourly service to use the different equipment we have. We're not profit, so we're not trying to make a profit, and we don't try to recoup the capital either. So we're just charging the operating cost of the equipment. But you pay that bill, you're technically using University of Washington equipment and floor space, but the university makes no claims on intellectual property. So the companies that come here retain 100% of IP ownership. And that's very unique and one of the really enabling things that have led to our success. And we designed the lab for open access around solar energy, emerging thin film photovoltaics, energy storage batteries, energy systems like grid integration, computation. But it's actually open access. And we have, even within my group, we have everything working on new types of photovoltaics and battery materials to things like new ways of making quantum devices, bioelectronics, water filtration. We don't restrict what you do here because everything we do here is, not only is it the end result, environmentally impactful in a beneficial way, but how we do it. All the advanced manufacturing is clean energy manufacturing, even if you're not manufacturing energy per se with it. So, and so we almost have 5 test beds now. We have scale up and characterization, where scale up is taking advanced manufacturing, say, developing new battery materials and scaling up how they're deposited in more uniform ways. Used to be batteries were done in a very straightforward way, kind of bucket chemistry, crude coating techniques. Now, as the specifications get tighter and tighter, and we're putting hundreds or thousands of cells into one vehicle, the tolerances of those have to be very precise. They all have to be the same for that to work. And of course, the safety requirements. And that requires much more precision manufacturing. So some of the stuff we were working at nanoscale, say, quantum devices, is now starting to impact how you make batteries. And we've been quite successful at that in the Scale-Up Lab. And part of the special sauce, in addition to the staff and know-how, is the combination of the equipment to make stuff, makerspace, with the ability to characterize it, both from electron microscopes and that sort of stuff, all the way to actual product testing, battery cycling, all in the same roof. Like literally, you can coat something, and within minutes, you could actually be measuring it. That's something that even the Bay Area could take a week to get it from where you made it to where it gets characterized and get in a queue and all those sort of things. Even on campus here, if you have to take it to campus, that triples the time it takes to get something done. So we can do really fast cycles because we can do the manufacturing development here, and we can also do the characterization and testing. Systems integration, we have a very active and growing effort in doing things like grid simulation for incorporating new types of grid management. We can also do hardware in the loop where we actually test grid components. We have grid simulation. We can generate realistic currents and loads and things like that to actually test things and actually then model them so they can be used in grid simulations. Grid is really hard to work with in reality because people don't like it when you shut down the power for half the city. Things like that. So there's a lot of simulation. So we have a lot of parallel computing to do that kind of work. And that's also taken off as a different separate test bed. And I'll say it because you'll see it downstairs in interest to you. So we started with about 8 million total about 8 years ago. Probably the money came about 10 years ago. We've just added an additional 7.5 million we got from the state and capital. While everyone is struggling on how we're going to fund people right now, we're lucky to have raised the money when we did, right before this happened. So we're actually building in a time when we'll be ready to go as things take back off again. And so we're installing, 5 million of that money is going into developing the region's only sort of medium scale pouch cell battery fab line here, lithium fab line, which you'll see downstairs. And that's a unique resource in the region. And with our open access, it's really maybe unique really in the whole country. To where people, it turns out some of the largest battery makers, the largest electronics companies, information technology companies in the world couldn't get prototype batteries made anymore because everyone's just making 18650s and cylindrical cells for EV, and they wouldn't even bother making any kind of other cell because they're ordered through for years. So we put this facility here so we could actually be doing development and research. And kind of push the envelope here in the region. And that's, well, you'll see that. You'll see we're literally finishing touches on the facility downstairs. And if you come for the tour, you'll see that. And we'll also plan to be expanding out into this building also over the next year as well to kind of double our footprint here in the lab.
The end.
At the end. So, and we'll have a tour at 7:15, and then of course you can ask if you have any more questions. You ask that. I know we're pressed for time here, so I'll hand it back.